Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Alright, we got a couple things going on today. As you can see, I have a Peterbilt. This is the same Peterbilt I had before. Well, it's actually an updated version of it. Let me close this down. So you can see this is an updated version of the Peterbilt. This is version, let me just show you. It is, yes, I would like to save my progress automatically. Thank you. This version is modified Peterbilt version 1.9. So this is the updated version, as far as I know, the most up-to-date version. Gives you an idea of what it's changed. So it's up to date for the mod manager, which we are right here. Attention, now all old skins do not work anymore. Anyways, confirm changes. We haven't changed anything. That's fine. Yes. Anyways, so it is the latest up-to-date version of the game, or of the mod, I should say, as far as I know. I haven't checked for a newer version, but it's possible there is a newer version out there. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Alright, here we are. So this is what it looks like. Let me just go to the photo studio and give you a quick little showcase of the new Peterbilt. This is just an updated version of it, so I rejiggered it a little bit and fiddled around with it. So now I got some I got some straight pipes here. You can actually change the pipes, which is really neat in this one. You can also put the old school Peterbilt 351 lights on there, so I got that. You can have different sorts of fenders as per usual. These are the Raven tires with elemental, well, Raven rims with elemental tires. And I put the runner rims here, where this is with the tag lift. And then I have this Care, what do you call it? This a Care fender type scenario. And you can adjust that too, which I thought was kind of neat. Kind of different. Thought I'd mess around with it. It's still the same Peterbilt in the end, but it looks even cooler now. As you can see, I made it a metallic red color. So this is a metallic red with a, I think it's a black undertone with a little bit of gray, I think it is. I think that's what it is in the end. So very cool. Right now I got a 680 horsepower pack car engine here. And as you can see, we have a load of beer, Duff beer in this context, that we're going to go ahead and take to somewhere in Poland. We're in Lublin right now. There we go. Alright, like I was saying, got a little bit of Duff beer here. And we're heading from Lublin to somewhere else in Poland, I forget. One of the things I haven't checked back on it, but there may be a possibility that there's a new version of this still that allows you to have the cabin accessories working in conjunction with the new version of this mod. I don't know yet for certain though. Oh my goodness, I forgot how long this trailer was. Alright, let's do this then maybe. I forget how I got out of the... This is the one problem with these long trailers. At least that's been my experience. It's like, how do you get them out of... Because they can't just, like, you know, drive straight out of the lots usually, because they're just a bit longer. They're not designed for these longer... they're not designed for longer trailers. And of course, if I had like a European style truck, I probably wouldn't have a problem here. But in this context, I definitely do. That's what I get for driving a Peterbilt. But it's fun, so I can't complain too much. Now all I need to do is back out slowly and hope that no one's coming over from that side. No, there's a truck there. I don't know if this is going to work the way I want it to. Oh my goodness. More than one way to skin a cat, I guess? What is it? Oh, it's hitting the building. No one ever said I was good at realism. But man, does that look good. Look at that. That's awesome. Screenshot. Sorry. I'm like gushing all over this Peterbilt like this now. I guess in Canada this could be a Molson Canadian truck. Sure, why not? Awesome. Anyways, let's get on with the driving. and wants us to go the opposite way, of course. Alright, so I have a Packard engine in this. So it sounds a bit... Actually, as soon as I fired it up, I actually noticed it sounded a lot different than what I was expecting, actually. Because I think before I had the Cat engine in it, and now I have this Packard one. Packard, however you say it. So it definitely sounds a lot different from what I'm used to. But I like it. It's not a bad sound. I'll turn it up a little bit. Just a tinsy-wincy bit. You should be able to hear it, though. But it sounds pretty smooth, actually. I haven't taken it on the highway yet, so I don't know what it sounds like on the highway in terms of the turbo. That's one of the problems I run into a lot of the time with some of these different types of engines, is the turbo. It just sounds ridiculous. Alright, there we go. Take this nice and wide, or else we'll never make this turn. Excellent. And I probably need this up so I can actually see the... There we go. Situation where I wish I had track IR, I guess. Interestingly enough, one of the things that recently came out, that's been out for a while, I guess. I'm not sure if it's been out for a while or not, but I just happened to notice it just recently, was paid mods for Euro Truck Simulator. One of my buddies online, Jammin000, fellow Canadian, he actually picked up one of the paid mods. It's not cheap. It was $25 for the truck, which is pretty darn expensive. But I guess if you like the truck enough, I would say it's worth it. But from what I saw, it's a very, very nice looking truck. I actually know I think one other person off the top of my head bought the same truck. It's a Kenworth. It's from Australia. I think it's a T800. I think it was. I think that's what it was, if memory serves. So, but it was a really, really interesting looking truck, and like in the sense that it's very, very well done. So they did a really fantastic job. I guess it was green that their color I put in here. Because from this way it looks red, but from in here, the top of that hood looks green. That's weird. I guess I don't need this up. Yeah, so this is the newest version of the Peterbilt 389. This is the one where they used to have the other screen in the little console there. It used to be something else. It used to be that you could have like a touch screen type scenario, but they just made it so it's default this because it makes the most sense. Where is our turn? Coming up here. But yeah, it was $25. $25 for that thing. And I thought that was a little on the pricey side, but you know, considering I saw how well it was made, like from the looks of it, and it looks like really darn good. I don't know if I would spend $25 on it. I generally don't have money to burn. Oh, come on, bus. I don't have money to burn. But some people have the extra money to pay on mods, and if they enjoy the game enough, like, you know, Euro Truck's a game I've put an hour or two into, so I could totally understand, you know, dropping $25 on a truck that you're going to use all the time. Like, basically, so if I were to put it into perspective of this truck, like, this truck is the one I use, like, all the time, essentially. And it's just because I like driving it, so. And if I were to drop some cash on it, I wouldn't. I would consider it. This mod is very well done. They actually added quite a few little upgrades to it to make it even better than it was before. This newest version is fantastic. The amount of customization you can do in it is just unreal. Like, I was extremely surprised as to how much you can actually add to it. Like the different types of fenders, the extra types of wheels you can have. So this even has a tag lift, as you can see right there, wheel. So if you want to do some heavy hauling, you even have that option as well. I think there's 4 different types of engines you can get. You can have like stuff like bullhorns in the front of your car if you want, or your truck if you want to. I personally don't like bullhorns; they're a little too gaudy for me. That's why I have the, I think it's the Goddess they call it or something. A little bit more subtle, but still pretty darn cool if you ask me. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you know, some people might have the money, some people might not. Like, And the same thing might go for a farm sim. Like if you were to have, you know, one really good John Deere, let's say John Deere mod, I might pay some money for that, maybe. But I think the problem you'll run into in that scenario is with copywriting and whatnot. So like you'd have to get the licensing from the organization, which is what they have to do for Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator, for example, with Peterbilt and whatnot. You actually have to get the licensing from them, saying yes, you can use our brand name in your game, sort of thing. So, and the same thing would apply to I suppose mods as well, but I don't know if that's actually happening or not. So, or maybe I think this is the way it works. If you're offering it for free and not purchasing it, they don't care, because then they're not. There's no money exchanging hands and whatnot, so there's not a big problem. But I didn't need to do that at all. But if you're paying for it, then there's money exchanging hands, and the company wants their their take on that. So, all right, 50 kilometers an hour it is here. And we're turning left up here. Okie doke. I can hear the turbo on this truck though now, which is slightly annoying now. I think it's not like a really loud sound yet, and I think it's only because we're down in the. It's only because I'm revving the engine probably more than it needs to be, and that's just probably because of the way I drive, unfortunately. But on some of the lower end, it sounds fine, but I can still hear the turbo, and I think this is the reason why I didn't choose this engine initially. But you can do Detroit diesel in this car, you can do the Caterpillar engine, and the Packard one. I think there's one other one, I just don't know what it is offhand. Oh, that turbo, yes. Now I remember why I don't have this particular engine. Like, it sounds nice in general, and then you hear that. I think I'm going just a wee bit too fast. But overall, it's still a pretty darn good mod. Like, the customization, like I was saying, like, you can add quite a few different things. Like, I originally had lights on the fuel tanks on the side, and you can change those to like chrome. You can have them without chrome. You can change the pipes on it if you want to. You can make the little scoop on top of the sleeper cab. You can make it a long sleeper cab, a short one. You can make it a day cab, a long. It's crazy, like the customization that they added into it. I was very impressed with what they added. Unfortunately, it didn't include the cabin accessory DLC. Not in this version yet, but maybe in a future version they'll add that. So who knows? I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm also looking forward to American Truck Simulator. It's going to be a good time when that thing comes out, for sure. I'm looking forward to that. We don't know when it's going to come out yet, so maybe it'll come out at the same time Crops and Cattle come out, or Cattle and Crops, whatever it's called, which also looks like a fantastic game as well. If you haven't seen some videos about that, I definitely recommend checking it out, because it looks like a very solid game as well. It's going to be. It's hard to say whether it's going to be a competitor against Farm Sim or not, and I say that because of the crowd that Farm Sim attracts versus Crops and Cattle is going to attract. And I say that because Cattle and Crops is going to be more like of the hardcore simulation guys who want like a more realistic farm situation, whereas Farm Sim is going to be more on the side of arcade, I think. But that's my opinion, so. But we'll see. We'll have to see what comes out. The Cattle and Crops says they're going to come out, I think they said early or 2016 at some point, so we'll see what actually happens there. It may or may not happen, I don't know. That is going to be, that's up to time to tell, really, so. I just hope that when they actually finish it and release it, it's going to be a solid game, because oftentimes we don't have a solid release of a game. Like, for example, Fallout 4 came out, and I've been hearing about mods and potential patches already. Now, admittedly, I didn't buy the game, so that's just from rumors, but just saying. Oh, that's random. What are those guys doing over there? I'll have to put the Russian map back in. I forgot how amazing the Russian map is. I was watching Bipolar Prophet a while back, and he was driving through Russia, and I seem to recall all the different types of vehicles, and the stuff that's happening on that map is just fantastic. It's so awesome. So I'll definitely have to drop that back in here. I'll probably put Pro Mods back in as well. I don't think I have that in at the moment. So, but the map was working beautifully. Maybe that's partially because of those mods not being in, but look at that. Normally my map is all messed up, but this time around, I still haven't been to Aberdeen yet, apparently, or Manchester, or Birmingham, and Dijon in France, and a few places in Italy. There you go. But yeah, I'll have to drop those things back in there. I'll have to do another multiplayer live stream. That was fun last time when we had Will on there, and we had a couple other people. It was good times. It was funny to see how terrible a driver I was in comparison to some other people. I don't claim to be the best driver, that's for sure. I just enjoy playing the game like everybody else. I just happen to talk about it a lot, I guess. It's too bad we don't have Peterbilts like this in Farm Sim. That would be pretty darn cool. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. There are a few of them that are decent, but they don't have the interior. Doesn't look nearly as good in the game as it does in this game, at least. Alright, so we're going left. So let's put the retarder on here, slow down a little bit. There we go. No one's coming. Take this nice and wide. Now we're still going to hit something. Watch this. Oh, no, sign went down. I thought for sure we weren't going to hit that sign, but we did. I was feeling around with my force feedback settings on my steering wheel, and I realized I would like to have it a little bit higher, but I realized why I don't do it, and that's because it makes an awful ruckus when you have the force feedback turned up. You'll hear like a shaking sound. And actually, CareVera76 has mentioned this before a couple times. He has a wheel as well, but it's like a Thrustmaster. But he was commenting on the fact that G27s are just like so loud. He hears like, and it's because I think it's to do with the way the force feedback works in this wheel. Because what happens is it's like it applies pressure to like the axle, let's say, in the inside, but it only, like when it's centered, like in the middle, like right now, for example, it doesn't apply pressure. But then it seems like that's how it works, at least. And then when you can probably go a little faster here. And then when you go past the center position, then it starts applying, and then it makes like an awful ruckus. It's like, I don't know. I think when I recorded, it's funny. I actually bought Project Cars a while back, and I actually have recorded videos up on YouTube, but I haven't published them yet. And the reason why I haven't published them yet is because I haven't found permissions to say it's okay to do that. So, I think it's Konami is the company that does that. So, and that's the reason why I haven't put them up yet. But I do have Project Cars, and one of these days I want to try and race Bipolar Prophet. I think he's gonna just rock my socks, but I think it'd be fun nonetheless. Do a little bit of American NASCAR with some other people, maybe. I think they have NASCAR in that game. I have to look at that now. It's funny, whenever I race in that game, I always do like 2 laps. I think is what the maximum I end up doing half the time. So it's very rare that I do like an actual race, just because I get tired after a certain amount of time. But that's how it works in real life, right? You get tired after a certain amount of time, and that's where people start making mistakes. I was watching NASCAR the other day for once, and I had television because I was at a hotel. But I was watching NASCAR for a bit there, and it was a pretty good little race there. I still don't like NASCAR as much as F1 just because the turns, but I understand why people love NASCAR so much. Like, I don't know. It's definitely a spectator sport. Like, have you ever been to a NASCAR race before? I imagine, I guess some of you probably have, but I've never been to a NASCAR race. And maybe one of these days I'll go down to Michigan or New York State, maybe, if they have NASCAR there. I'm sure they do. And go check out a race. I know my uncle-in-law, he goes to NASCAR once in a while. Does the whole, like, what do you call it? Tailgate party, I think they call it, or something. And then they watch the race but it's a much better spectator sport than F1. Like we have F1 here in Canada. We have an F1 race in Montreal, I believe it is, in Quebec. It's actually a really tough race too, as far as I understand. I've never raced it personally, in a game or in real life, for obvious reasons. But in game, it's possible. I think that's one of the few races or tracks they don't have in Project Cars, which is a bit unfortunate actually. So, it'd be kind of cool if they did. I'll be back in a sec. All right, sorry about that. Just thought I'd pause out the ambulances going by. One of the disadvantages of living on a main road, or off a main road, I should say. Wonder why they don't offer like, oh my goodness, where are you guys going? I wonder why they don't offer like different variations on windshield wipers. That'd be kind of an interesting little addition. Alright. But, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting if they could do that. I don't know what the speed limit is. I'm gonna have to take this corner just a wee bit wider than I normally would like. There we go. But yeah, definitely like this particular version of the mod. Like, it's really slick. I'm just gonna bring this up because I can never see what it looks like if I don't have this up once you're in town. It gets a little dicey. But yeah, definitely a really nice little mod. This is just an updated version of the Peterbilt that I normally drive. Ooh, it's a bit quick, Iain. It's funny, in real life, this is what happens. The truck will be sitting right here, going like, can you move? And sometimes what happens is the car will be able to, but not always. They'll be able to move, so. Ooh, actually made that. I'm pretty surprised by that, actually. But yeah, it actually happened the other day. Where was I? I was driving somewhere, and then this truck was turning around the corner, and it was like, you know, a really tight I don't know what you call it, not a 2-lane road, but like a 1-lane road. It's like one lane going each way. And the car was totally in the truck's way, and the car's like, I'm gonna move for you, just so you can get around that turn there. That happens in real life, of course, but not here. Not always, mind you, but sometimes it does. Let's get in there, a screenshot of this guy in the rain. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get a screenshot. Interesting enough, browse through this selection of spectacular images, handpicked from Mortal Trucks. It's pretty neat. I think actually Farmer Beavis has been showcased on there a couple times. He takes some pretty darn good screenshots. There we go. Saturation. Yeah, a little bit more saturation. Color balance, no. Magenta, no. And blur transition depth. There we go. And field of view. That's good. There we go. That's my best attempt at a screenshot for this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Farmer Bees has been has been showcased. Oh, you're gonna let me go? Thanks. Has been showcased on the World of Trucks website for some of his screenshots, because he takes darn good ones. Car. There's a big trailer right there. Jeez. But yeah, really neat stuff actually. If you ever want to see some really neat screenshots, definitely check out Farmer Beavis' stuff. He takes some fantastic screenshots. And Mercedes-Benz on Twitter actually has retweeted some of his screenshots when he's driving a Mercedes Actros, I think it is, in game, which I think is really neat actually. I think it was Mercedes-Benz UK, I think it was, and they actually retweeted a couple of his photos, which I think is kind of cool. Alright, are we going to be able to do this? Let's see. We should be able to. We have enough. Here I start trying to be all like slick and oh, there we go. Here I was trying to be all slick and like, no, not crashing anything, but that didn't happen. Not as well as I thought it was. Not as being as smooth as I thought it was going to be. No one's ever accused me of being smooth. That's for sure. Especially when it comes to playing games. Alright. We need to go further. We can't do it from this distance. Because it's just the way this truck is. Now, as far as I know, the way it works in real life is you're supposed to do like a J. And I always say this because I always try to remember how to do it properly. And I think this is the right way, but I am definitely not an expert. I know, I think it's Jenkins. He was actually a truck driver, if memory serves, in back in the day. So he would be able to convince me. What I really should do is one of these days I should spend like an afternoon just watching like how to park videos. How do you park a transport truck? Well, Iain, this is how you park a transport truck. First, you don't screw up your approach. Second, you don't... No. But this is the reason why I generally skip the parking, because especially with longer trailers. I don't know why, but I often find myself in situations where... Oh, shoot. I have to find myself in situations where I'm doing this and I'm recording at the same time. And because I'm recording, I guess I get nervous or something. I don't know. And then my parking skills go out the window. Sometimes when I'm not recording, I can actually do it. Alright, whatever. I don't want to spend like the next 20 minutes parking there and you guys are watching. Oh, damage penalty. Reasonable. Ah, well, what can you do? Anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today. My name's Iain Robson. This has been an episode of Farming Simulator. No, it hasn't. Another episode of Euro Truck Simulator 2. This is the Peterbilt 389, just a new updated version of it. It's a version 1.9. And I think there might be an even newer version out. I have to double check. Anyways, that'll be it for me for today. If you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys later.